Have you ever stood at the bottom of a mountain, looked up and thought, how could anyone possibly climb that? Now imagine trying to do it without your sight. It sounds impossible, right? Well, today we're talking about a man who turned that impossible thought into a breathtaking reality. His name is Erik Weihenmayer, and he's the first and only blind person to ever stand on top of the world, on the summit of Mount Everest. This isn't just a story about climbing. It's a story about redefining what's possible, about a spirit that refused to be limited by darkness. Erik's journey began long before he ever set foot in the Himalayas. At just 14, he lost his sight completely to a rare eye disease called retinoschisis. For many, this would be a devastating, world-ending event, and for a while, it was for Erik too. He was an athletic kid who loved rock climbing and wrestling. How could he continue to do the things he loved? He felt angry, frustrated, and lost. But then, something shifted. Instead of letting his blindness be a cage, he started to see it as a different way of experiencing the world. He learned to navigate using sound, touch, and a long white cane. He refused to give up his passion for the outdoors. He went back to rock climbing, learning to find handholds and footholds by feel, developing an incredible sense of touch that sighted climbers often overlook. This new way of seeing the world through his other senses became his superpower. He didn't just get back into sports, he excelled. He became a high school wrestling champion, a marathon runner, a skydiver, a long-distance biker, and a skier. He was pushing boundaries, not just for himself, but for everyone's perception of what a blind person could do. But for Erik, there was always a bigger mountain calling his name. The idea of climbing the 7 summits, the highest peaks on each of the 7 continents, began to form in his mind. It was an audacious goal for any climber, let alone someone who was blind. He started with Denali in North America, the highest peak on the continent. It was a brutal, freezing climb, but he made it. Then came Kilimanjaro in Africa, Aconcagua in South America, and others. With each summit, his confidence and his team's trust in him grew. But Everest was different. It's known as the death zone for a reason. The air is thin, the weather is treacherous, and one wrong step can be fatal. Many in the climbing community were skeptical. Was it safe? Was it even possible for a blind person to navigate the treacherous Khumbu icefall, a constantly shifting maze of giant ice blocks? How would he cross deep crevasses on shaky aluminum ladders with nothing but a black abyss below? Erik knew the risks better than anyone. But he also had an unshakable belief in his team and in his own abilities. He trained relentlessly, preparing his body and mind for the ultimate test. He wasn't climbing alone. He had a team of experienced climbers who were his eyes on the mountain. They developed a system of communication that was simple yet effective. His climbing partner in front of him would wear a bell so Erik could follow the sound. They would call out instructions. Step up, ice axe left, big rock on your right. It was a symphony of trust and teamwork. Erik had to place absolute faith in his guides, and they had to trust his incredible mountain sense and physical strength. He couldn't see the stunning vistas, but he experienced the mountain in a way no one else could. He could hear the crunch of the ice under his crampons, feel the biting wind on his face, and sense the sheer scale of the landscape around him. He described it as climbing through a world of sound and texture. The final ascent was grueling. On May 25, 2001, after weeks of acclimatization and pushing through exhaustion and freezing temperatures, Erik Weihenmayer stood on the summit of Mount Everest, 29,035 feet above sea level. He had reached the top of the world. Imagine that moment, standing there, unable to see the panoramic view that drives so many to risk their lives, but feeling it in every fiber of his being. He had done what so many thought was impossible. His climbing partner, Jeff Evans, described the moment on the radio. Erik is on top. He's standing on top of the world. The news sent ripples of inspiration across the globe. Erik's story wasn't just about conquering a mountain. It was a powerful message to everyone who has ever faced a challenge that felt insurmountable. His blindness wasn't a barrier. It was part of his unique journey. After Everest, Erik didn't stop. He went on to complete the 7 summits in 2002, but even that wasn't enough. He then took on a new challenge. Kayaking the entire 277 miles of the Grand Canyon, one of the most formidable stretches of whitewater in the world. Once again, he had to rely on his senses, listening to the roar of the rapids and following verbal cues from his guide in another kayak. He successfully navigated the raging Colorado River, proving yet again that the only limits are the ones we place on ourselves. Erik's philosophy is simple, but profound. He talks about harnessing adversity, about turning our struggles into strength. He co-founded an organization called No Barriers, dedicated to helping people with challenges, whether physical, mental, or emotional, to live rich, fulfilling lives. The goal is to help people discover what's within them to break through barriers and contribute to the world. He often says, "What's within you is stronger than what's in your way." Think about that. We all have our own mountains to climb, our own Everests. They might not be physical mountains, but they are challenges that seem just as daunting. A career change, a personal struggle, a fear we need to overcome. Erik's journey teaches us that we do not need to see the entire path to take the first step. We just need to trust in ourselves, in our team, and keep moving forward, one step at a time. His story is a testament to the power of the human spirit, resilience, and the incredible things we can achieve when we refuse to be defined by our limitations. It challenges us to look at our own lives and ask, what are the barriers we've put up for ourselves? What blindness is holding us back from reaching our own summit? Erik Weihenmayer shows us that it's not about what you lose, it's about what you do with what you have left. Thank you so much for watching and for letting me share this incredible story with you. If you were inspired by Erik's journey, please hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about people who change the world. And let me know in the comments what your Everest is. I'd love to hear about it. See you in the next video.